Welcome to Star Talk, a new podcast from the Durham County Sheriff's Office. I'm Clarence Birkhead, your Durham County Sheriff, and we appreciate you tuning in to learn more about the many exciting things happening at the Sheriff's Office. One of the more exciting and sometimes challenging things that we do is animal services. As our Durham community continues to grow, so has the number of dogs and cats and other pets grow as well. But enjoying our pets sometimes means our Durham community needs help. And that's where the Animal Services Division of the Durham County Sheriff's Office comes into play. Today, I welcome Captain Mark Manning, who leads Animal Services for us. But before we go into our questions, I'm going to ask Captain Manning to tell us who he is, how long he's been with the Durham County Sheriff's Office, and what he does as a hobby. Captain Manning.
Thank you, Sheriff Birkhead. It's a pleasure and honor to be here, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to tell a little bit about what Animal Services does and brag on those folks a bit and how we serve the community. I have been fortunate enough to be a member of the Durham County Sheriff's Office for 25 years. And during that, I've been blessed and fortunate enough to work in many, many different areas of the agency and the office. And for the last 3 years, I've been a part of Animal Services, and you are correct. It is very rewarding, but it's been very challenging as well. My free time, I love to grill, I love to fish, and I love to watch Duke sports.
Very good. So we have an outdoorsman, a professional, and an avid lover of Duke sports, athletics, and all things. And full disclosure, we share that. I, too, am a longtime Duke fan. Now, tell us where our Animal Services is located and some of the services that we offer.
So Animal Services Building, the main office is located at 3005 Glen Road.
And we
operate there. We have 3 civilian staff members that run the civilian side of the office, and that is Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 p.m. We currently have 9 certified law enforcement deputies, and we also have 2 supervisors that respond to a wide array of different animal services calls for the community, for both the city and the county of Durham.
So it's important that our listeners know that the Durham County Sheriff's Office is responsible for providing animal services to both city and county residents, so inside the city limits and in the unincorporated areas of Durham County. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is very correct. Currently, like I stated earlier, we respond to primarily domestic-related animals, but it's a full array of animals. So some of those are we detect and investigate, enforce violations of animal ordinances, of course, state laws concerning domesticated animals. We investigate animal bites, cruelty to animals, nuisance animal complaints, even reports of dangerous dogs, animal surrenders, animal welfare checks, and we even do home confinement checks for bite victims and animals that are involved in bite incidents. We also do vaccination compliance and even duties related to safety concerns with the rabies virus.
So is it safe to say that the Durham County Sheriff's Office Animal Service Division does all things related to animal and pet owners, and everything from getting a chip implanted, the rabies shot, welfare checks, and if I'm not mistaken, Captain Manning, over the years we've provided shelter or dog houses through some of our partnerships. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. That is a safe comment to make. What we do, we have a lot of resources that we can help provide. One of the things that we are a part of is the Durham Healthy Animal Initiative, and through that initiative, we can offer guidance and solutions to those that are less fortunate. So where it avoids them and getting a monetary and punitive fine, but it also gives them and of course the animal better welfare. So we use a lot of outsourced resources and nonprofit groups to assist with microchipping. We can't provide the microchipping, but we can reach you out to or lead you out to folks and individuals and entities that can. We can help provide while supplies last with bedding and dog leashes and collars and things of that nature. Help get you in the right direction for discounted vaccinations. We offer vaccinations at our office, believe it or not, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. It's by appointment only, and it starts at 8:30 a.m. and runs to 3:30 p.m. So we offer a lot of those different choices for the community.
Very good, Captain Manning. It is truly impressive that the number of services we offer at the Durham County Animal Shelter, but I think it's important to educate our listeners the relationship we have with our partners. One of our large partners, as you mentioned, is APS, Animal Protection Society, and it's a Durham County shelter. But who is responsible for operating that shelter on a day-to-day? Is that the deputies who are animal control officers, or is that APS?
Sheriff Birkhead, that's an outstanding question, and it's one of the issues and areas of concern and sometimes confusion for the general public and our citizens of Durham. So it is true that we partner with the shelter, and it is the only shelter in Durham, which is kind of unusual for a community this large. But it's actually it is ran by the Animal Protection Society of Durham and has been for several years. Our only involvement is our only county shelter, so that is primarily where we take most of our impounded animals to. And of course, we assist with them in any way that we can, and they do with us. And I think we have a really good working relationship with that partnership.
Very good. The Animal Protection Society has been a long-standing partner with Durham County. And when I became sheriff in 2018, they were a partner then, and we met with them and talked about how we recognize that this area is going to continue to grow, and as our partnership should grow in the same regard. Let's talk about some calls for service. You mentioned domestic animals and the fact that we do encounter all types of animals. But let's share with our listeners what types of calls do our animal service deputies respond to?
Well, like I stated earlier, there is such a wide array of different calls for service. So one of our main calls for service are stray animals and nuisance animals. And it can get confusing at times because there are different ordinances and violations and state laws that are involved as well. And one of the misconceptions is like, say, for a barking dog incident. Technically and usually that's not something that we're involved in, because that's technically a noise ordinance violation. And if it's within the city limits, we don't have authority to enforce city ordinances. So another entity has to be involved in that. But say you have a nuisance animal, an animal that is on your property, we can help respond to that and help alleviate that problem, and maybe try to find a way to make the problem a little better for all parties involved, to where there's not punitive damages or things of that nature. We even do, in extreme circumstances, some wildlife issues. Now, primarily, the agency responsible for that is the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission. But if there's a potential rabies issue, then we can become involved. And we even do some things with injured wildlife as well in extreme circumstances, where we try to take that animal to a rehab facility. And that, of course, that saves time for the Resource Commission to respond, but that gives us an opportunity to get involved and assist in that as well.
Outstanding. Again, the services we provide are vast. And I tell you, I'm always impressed with the level of service our animal service deputies deliver to the community. I'm also impressed with the number of calls that we receive on a yearly basis. And we've seen those numbers increase lately. So in the very near future, we'll be talking with our county commissioners about how we can staff up animal services so that we can continue to provide this excellent service to our animal community, the pet owners and lovers of animals alike. Now, it's no secret I'm not fond of certain reptiles, because you mentioned wildlife. Do we ever encounter calls related to snakes?
Unfortunately, Sheriff Birkhead, we do. It is especially this time of year. And if it is a snake in your yard, unfortunately, we're not legally permitted to trap and remove wildlife. But if it's inside your living quarters of your residence, we do respond, and we will respond. But here's the sad part, Sheriff. We have to release that reptile, per se, in your yard. That's not always a pleasant thing for the homeowner, but that is what we legally have to do. But we will help you get it out of your home. Yes, sir.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Captain Mark Manning of the Durham County Sheriff's Office, who is the commander for our Durham County Animal Services Division. And I think that we're at a good point to where we can stop that we're talking about snakes. So we're going to take a break and we will be right back. I'm Durham County Sheriff Clarence Birkhead. We are hiring now. If you want to make a difference in our community, I want you to join our team. The Durham County Sheriff's Office offers a generous benefit package and a wide range of career opportunities. If you are at least 21 and have a high school diploma, we want to hear from you. Be the future of the Durham County Sheriff's Office. Join the team today. Visit durhamsheriff.com. Welcome back to Star Talk. Today we're talking about the great work Animal Services does for all of Durham County with its commander, Mark Manning. Captain Manning, can you talk to us about the types of services or sorts of calls as we did in our earlier segment? But are there any other services or anything else that you would like our listeners to know about the men and women who work in our Animal Services Division?
Yes, sir, Sheriff. Thank you. I love the opportunity to brag on the individuals. The folks and men and women of Animal Services are truly, truly a dedicated group. It's not traditional law enforcement. Those individuals want to be there, and it's a calling. And some of the things that we do, I'm afraid that the community is unaware of. And I'd love to take the time to explain some of those special events. I mentioned that we're part of the Healthy Animal Initiative in Durham. We participated in the Holiday Initiative during the holiday season, and this is where our folks of Animal Services collected and donated from their own means animal food, supplies, and bedding to the shelter here in Durham, and also to participants of Meals on Wheels who have pets. We also partnered with our own Durham County Library and assisted with the Durham County Library Oasis. That is a program that provides books to shut-ins, children, and citizens we may come in contact with while on our calls, or even when they visit our office. We also perform numerous school visits, and we do bring some reptile friends with us. I know, Sheriff, you're not a fan of that, but children seem to like that. And we have a couple of members who teach an animal behavioral class to our children at schools as well as the general public.
Well, it's safe to say that we have a staff that not only are very good at their job and providing these services, but they're also animal lovers and pet owners themselves. I know one of our deputies, I think she has a couple of horses and has raised horses for years. So we truly have a dedicated staff, an animal-loving staff at the Durham County Sheriff's Office Animal Services Division. Can we talk about what the future looks like for animal services? We've already mentioned that our population is growing, and we know that on average, 1.2 pets, if you will, come with those families that are moving to Durham. What does the future look like for animal services?
Sheriff Birkhead, you brought up a really good point. I think since 2012, when the Sheriff's Office became involved in animal services here in Durham, I think the population has grown an estimated 100,000 people. So with population come pets, and you can clearly see anyone driving through the Durham area of all the building that is progressing across the county and the city as well. Our call volume alone just last month was over 1,200 calls. That's incredible. So I think the future is incredibly bright for Durham. I think we do need to obviously implement some additional resources. We only have one shelter, and it's the same shelter we've had for decades. So they need improvements, and we need improvements. We could obviously use a lot more staffing. I know that you have come up with some different ideas and a hybrid for maybe a smaller footprint for law enforcement, and have some citizens that are or civilians that are actually animal control officers along with our sworn officers and things of that nature. So I think the future is incredibly bright for Durham and the animal welfare community.
Very good. Thank you for sharing those numbers. I don't think the public realizes that those 1,200 calls were animal calls, not other 911 calls, even though these deputies are fully sworn deputies can do all sorts of things, but they're assigned to our Animal Services Division. Averaging 1,200 calls annually is incredible. And yes, we truly intend to grow the service. We're going to be creative with staffing because staffing is an issue nationwide. But again, we want to continue to deliver great service to our community. Now, I know we are one of a few sheriff's offices in the state of North Carolina that manage this function, animal services. Have you talked with other jurisdictions, and are we using best practices? Are we moving in the right direction? How do we stack up with other jurisdictions, Captain Manning?
Sheriff, that was an outstanding question as well. And of course, we have reached out to a couple of different agencies. We are unique, as you stated. We're one of the only few agencies in the state that offer a law enforcement affiliation with the animal control. So there are challenges with that as well, but I can clearly say that we are definitely progressive, and that's what Durham is known for being a progressive community, and your office is. So I think we're leading the pack. We offer to some degree. Our animal control agency offers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week coverage to some degree, and not everyone can say that. So just even when our normal operating business hours, after that, overnight, we have individuals that are on call throughout the night, weekends, holidays, and things of that nature, just in case of an emergency. And they respond, routinely for that. And I think that's very progressive for what we do. We also are one of the only agencies that currently pick up surrender animals. Usually that falls on the responsibility of the owner of the pets and getting that to the shelter. But in some cases, maybe the homeowner can't get, or the pet owner can't get to the shelter. So we try to provide some resources and means to do that to help them facilitate that transition.
Very good, very good. And that is interesting, and we are always going to reach out to our neighbors and make sure that we are using best practices, and we're constantly evaluating our facilities as well. And I know that the sheriff in Orange County, they have a state-of-the-art facility there in their jurisdiction to serve the citizens. Wouldn't something like that be nice here in Durham? And I know we've had some conversations with commissioners, and I think it's on the long-range building plan to build a new shelter. Talk about what you'd like to see if we develop a new shelter in the next, say, 2 to 4 years.
Yes, sir. Orange County does. They are blessed and have a state-of-the-art facility, and it is much needed. And Durham deserves the same. Durham's population is skyrocketing. And the need is there. We are still operating. Well, the shelter is still operating from a building that's 30 or 40 plus years old, and the spacing is inadequate. Many times they're overcrowded, and we have to help them. And of course, they do a phenomenal job at facilitating through that and using different resources and other agencies. But in my dream world, we would have a state-of-the-art updated shelter as well. In a perfect world, I think we would have more than one. I think we could have 2 facilities. I think Durham is well warranted of that, and Durham deserves that.
Very good, Captain Manning. And I'm glad you mentioned, once again, our relationship with the Animal Protection Society. They have a robust adoption program. When we get to where we're overcrowded, they really do a good effort of pushing that narrative out to find homes for these animals, for dogs and cats especially. And so moving forward, hopefully, we will get a new facility where we can expand our services, perhaps keep the existing one, and now we'll be able to have 2 services. So I agree with you. I think the future is bright for Durham County Animal Control here at the Durham County Sheriff's Office. Before we go, I would like for you to remind everyone about the hours that we keep. You mentioned that we're 24/7, but what are the shelter hours, and how can they reach the animal shelter or animal control deputies?
Yes, sir, Sheriff. So animal control, the officers have a rotating schedule, and we have 4 different squads that work 7 days a week. The hours vary from that. Normal operating hours are Monday through Friday, and that is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. After that, they're on emergency calls that meets a certain criteria, and you have at least 2 individuals that are monitoring that. until 10 p.m. After 10 p.m., you have at least one deputy that will be on call for emergency calls for the remainder until 7 a.m. the next day. On the weekends, their hours vary from 10:30 a.m. Saturday and Sunday to 10 p.m. at night, and then, of course, with the same on-call process after that. And the same applies to holiday events and weekends and things of that nature. The shelter has varying hours, and I'm not 100% sure of when it is open to the public. It is open for us as we need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can always call our office Monday through Friday, and that is 560-0630, and you can speak to our civilian staff. You can always call 911 if you need an emergency service from Animal Services, and something to even expedite that, you can actually call our main dispatch line 24 hours a day. It's the same number that you want a sheriff patrol deputy to respond. Our Animal Services can get it, and you can call that at 919-560-0900.
Thank you, Captain Manning, for sharing that excellent information. And we certainly want our public to know how they can reach us at the Animal Services Division. And they don't always have to call 911. So thank you for giving out those additional numbers. You've been listening to myself and Captain Manning on Star Talk, highlighting the excellent work that we do at the Animal Services Division, Animal Control Division of the Durham County Sheriff's Office. We thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to having another conversation in the very near future where we'll talk about a variety of topics. And if you have topics that you'd like for us to highlight on Star Talk, please reach out to us on our social media or call our office. But let me thank Captain Manning for joining us today, and really appreciate the efforts of he and his team at the Durham County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Division. Thank you, and keep up the great work.
Thank you, Sheriff. It was my pleasure.